Vaishnavamscha Shirupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shirana Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vitamscha Om Jnana Timrandasya Yananshana Shalakaya Chakshurun Milidam Yena Tasma Shigurave Nama Gurva Bishtam Supurakam Gurganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samastaveda Nipanam Shirupa Padanagam Govindabidam Ujwalam Varatanam Bhaktian Vinam Sundaram Mande Vishwaguruncha Divyat Bhagavat Prem Noe Bija Pranam Devam Divyatanam Suchandavananam Devam Divyatanum Suchandabaranam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyambunim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Bandetam Shivaram Madeka Sharanam Nyashishvara Shridharam Vansha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavenabhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Nama. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami with translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And this is Madhya Lila chapter 24, the 61 explanations of the Atmarama verse. And so we're on text number 220. Mahaprabhu has just finished explaining the Atmarama verse 19 different ways. So, Charitamrta Saha Hoila Teisha Arta Aratin Arta Shuna Parama Samarta. In addition to the 19 meanings of the verse mentioned previously, there are 4 further meanings when the word Atmaram is taken to mean those laboring under the bodily conception. This brings the total to 23. Now hear of another 3 meanings which are very suitable. So, okay. So actually it's 23 meanings now. The 3 further meanings of the verse, which are understood when the word cha is taken to mean in due course, the word cha is taken to mean eva, and the word api is to mean censure. And 3, the word nirgranta is taken to mean one who is very, very poor without money. The 3 further meanings of this verse are understood when 1, the word cha is taken to mean in due course, 2, the word cha is taken to mean eva and the word api to mean censure, and 3, the word nirgranta is taken to mean one who is very poor without money. Shabde samuchaye ara artakoi atmaramascha munayascha krishnere bhajai. As mentioned above, the word cha can be used to mean aggregate. According to this meaning, all the Atmaramas and Munis engage in Krishna's service. Besides aggregate, there is another meaning of the word cha. Nirgranta haya iha api nirdarane ramascha krishnascha yata viharaye bane. The word nirgranta can be used as an adjective, and api can be used in the sense of certainty. For instance, Ramascha Krishnascha means that both Rama and Krishna enjoy walking in the forest. Nirgranta hoya iha api nirdarane Ramascha Krishnascha yata viharaye bane. The word nirgranta can be used as an adjective, and api can be used in the sense of certainty. For instance, Ramascha Krishnascha means that both Rama and Krishna enjoy walking in the forest. Shabde anbachaye arta koheyar bato bikam atagam chanaye Ch.Ch prakar. The word Ch can also present a secondary thing to be done at the same time. This way of understanding the word Ch is called anvachaye. An example is, O brahmachari, go out to collect alms and at the same time bring in the cows. So I had an instance of that when I was living in India, and I was going to Bangkok to renew my visa for India. And when I was going, Prabhupada told me, "Oh, while you're in Bangkok, please open a temple there." So at the same time, while you're getting your visa, just open a temple there, which effectively negated the purpose of getting the visa.
Right.
Krishna manane muni Krishna sambara bajai atmarama apibaje gona artakoi. Saintly persons who are always meditating upon Krishna are engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. The Atmaramas are also engaged in the Lord's service. That is the indirect import. Saintly persons who are always meditating upon Krishna are engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. The Atmaramas are also engaged in the Lord's service. That is the indirect import. The anvachaye meaning of the word Cha indicates that between the two words compounded by the word Cha, one is given more importance and the other is considered subordinate. For example, O brahmachari, please go out and collect alms and at the same time bring in the cows. In this statement, the collecting of alms is of first importance and the second business of collecting the cows is subordinate. Similarly, one who always meditates upon Krishna is mainly a devotee of Krishna engaged in his devotional service. Other Atmaramas are subordinate in devotional service. Can you get a glass of water, please? Cha evarte munaya eva Krishna reva jai atmaramapi api garha artakoi. The word Cha can also be used to indicate the certainty that only saintly persons are engaged in rendering devotional service to Krishna. In the combination Atmarama api is used in the sense of censure. Nirgranta hoya e duhara viseshan ara arta shunajaiche sadura sangam. The word nirgranta can be taken as an adjective modifying muni and atmarama. There is another meaning, which you may hear from me, indicating association with the devotee. Now I shall explain how it is that through the association of devotees, even a nirgranta can become a devotee. Nirgranta shabde ko he tabe Vyara nirdan sarusange sehokore Shri Krishna bhajan. The word nirgranta, when combined with api, used in the sense of certainty, indicates a person who is a hunter by profession or who is very poor. Nevertheless, when such a person associates with a great saint like Narada, he engages in the Lord's devotional service. Krishna Ramascha Eva Hoy Krishna Manan Vyara Haya Hoy Puja Bhagavatotama. The word Krishna's Cha refers to one who takes pleasure in thinking of Krishna. Even though such a person may be a hunter, he is still worshipable and is the best of devotees. Eka Bhakta Vyadhera Kata Shuna Sabadane Jaha Hoite Hoi Sat Sangha Mahimara Gyane. I shall now narrate the story of how a hunter became a great devotee by the association of such an exalted personality as Narad Muni. From this story, one can understand the greatness of association with pure devotees. Ek din Shri Narada Deki Narayan Tribeni Snane Prayaga Korila Gaman. Once upon a time, the great saint Narada, after visiting Lord Narayan in the Vaikunthas, went to Prayag to bathe at the confluence of three rivers, the Ganges, Jamuna, and Saraswati. Purport. The great Saint Narada is so liberated that he can go to the Vaikuntha planets to see Narayan and then immediately come to this planet in the material world and go to Prayag to bathe in the confluence of three rivers. The word Triveni refers to a confluence of three rivers. This confluence is still visited by many hundreds of thousands of people who go there to bathe, especially during the Magh Mela, which occurs during the month of January. A liberated person who has no material body can go anywhere and everywhere. Therefore, a living entity is called Sarvaga, which indicates that he can go anywhere and everywhere. Presently, scientists are trying to go to other planets, but due to their material bodies, they are not free to move at will. However, when one is situated in his original spiritual body, he can move anywhere and everywhere without difficulty. Within this material world, there is a planet called Siddhaloka, whose inhabitants can go from one planet to another without the aid of a machine or a space rocket. In the material world, every planet has a specific advantage. Vibhuti Bina. In the spiritual world, however, all the planets and their inhabitants are composed of spiritual energy. Because there are no material impediments, it is said that everything in the spiritual world is one. So you can see some inherent limitations in material arrangements always, but for instance, now they're prolonging the life expectancy. That's been going on. But what are they doing? Basically, they're prolonging old age. So that people can live longer, it just means they can suffer the disadvantages of old age longer. They're not regenerating their bodies, they're just prolonging old age. Which may be good if you're old, and then you might want to live some more years, but besides that, it's not the best arrangement. Then they're going to, now there's, of course, before there was, when I was younger, I remember they'd be on television how that practically by the year 2000, since this was some time ago, this was in the 60s, they figured by the year 2000 they'd have colonized the moon and be taking flights to Mars and everything. But that, of course, never happened. Now, there's some conference that I read about this morning about between Japan and the United States that they want to have space travel to the moon and Mars. So they're still talking about that. Anyway, these things, here it's mentioned how the living entity is, Sarvaga, can go anywhere, but the means of going to places is that one has to have actually the proper adjustment, we'll say, materially to go to different places. You can't just go by some mechanical means everywhere. Even we can say when you go to Mayapur, Navadip, Vrindavan, all these places, it's not just a question of buying a ticket. It's actually a spiritual arrangement that someone has a sufficient sukriti that he can visits the Lord's eternal abode. And then again, when you go to these places, what will you see? Unless you have the proper eyes, which eyes are anointed, you could say, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Rida Yeshu Lokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Guna Swarupam Govindamadi Parusham Tamaham Bhajami. Unless you have the proper vision, you won't see anything. You'll just see that the sacred Dham just looks like some village. And there's some animals roaming the streets, etc. There's some monkeys that are sometimes bothering people, but they won't really actually understand how things are happening. For instance, the proper vision. I remember, for instance, Krishna, he's stealing butter, feeding it to the monkeys. The monkeys were not seen as nuisances. When Srila Govinda Maharaj was in Vrindavan, he said, he actually felt very compassionate. He said, these monkeys are very hungry. People have intruded in their space by urbanizing so many parts of Vrindavan that were previously, forest. And as a result, the monkeys are being pushed into the city where they have to disturb people in order to eat. So Govinda Maharaj said he at that time talked of a program to feed the monkeys.
Really?
Yeah. But that was when we were living not in the present place whereas Gandharva Rasa Bihari temple, we were living at that time on the outskirts. No, we were living at where we are now. Because I remember, it was there that Govinda Maharaj said that. He was looking at the monkeys walking on the wall. We also had a dog that would walk along the wall, even though the wall was like 4 or 5 feet up. The dog could walk on that wall. I won't go into that, but anyway. Banapati teki mriga ache bhume pari, banabira bhagna para kore dad pari. Narad Muni saw that a deer was lying on the path through the forest and that it was pierced by an arrow. It had broken legs and was twisting due to much pain. Arakata Durayek, Degana Sukar, Tachibida Bhagna Para Kore Dad Fada. Further ahead, Narad Muni saw a boar pierced by an arrow. Its legs were also broken and it was twisting in pain. Aichi Ek Shashakadeki Arakata Dure, Jivera Dukadeki Narad Byakula Antare. When he went further, he saw a rabbit that was also suffering. Narad Muni was greatly pained at heart to see living entities suffer so. It's the nature of a great soul. He feels compassion for all living entities. Katadure deke pyara brike undahaya mriga maribari ache bana judia. When Narad Muni advanced further, he saw a hunter behind a tree. This hunter was holding arrows and he was ready to kill more animals. Shamavarna Rakta Netra Mahabhayankar Dhanorbana Hastejena Jamadandadar. The hunter's body was blackish. He had reddish eyes and he appeared fierce. It was as if the superintendent of death, Yamaraj, were standing there with a bow and arrows in his hands. Patachari Naradatara Nikate Chalila Narade Deki Mriga Sab Palayagila. When Narad Muni left the forest path and went to the hunter, all the animals immediately saw him and fled. Krudahaya Bhyadaktare Galidite Chai Narada Prabhave Mukhe Galinahyai. When all the animals fled, the hunter wanted to chastise Narada with abusive language. But due to Narada's presence, he could not utter anything abusive. So first it says he was very angry and he wanted to heavily chastise Narad Muni, but he couldn't do so because immediately he's in the association of a saint. Then he can't, you can see, even though he's a hunter, at least he has some appreciation for a saint. Gosai Prayana Pata Chadikini Aila Tomadeki Mora Laka Mriga Palaila. The hunter addressed Narad Muni, O Gosai, O great saintly person, why have you left the general path through the forest to come to me? Simply by seeing you, all the animals I was hunting have now fled. So he's upset. He's saying that Narad Muni has left the general path, scared the animal, and cost him his livelihood. Narada kohe pattabuli ailana puchite manayek samshaya hoya taha kandaite. Narad Muni replied, leaving the path I have come to you to settle a doubt that is in my mind. Pate jay shukaramriga jani tomar hoy byareko he jayko ha satanis joy. I was wondering whether all the boars and other animals that are half killed belong to you. The hunter replied, yes, what you are saying is so. Yes, it is so. All these animals that you've seen were killed by me. They belong to me. Narada kohe jadi jive maratumi ban arda mara korakene na lao paran. Narad Muni then inquired, why did you not kill the animals completely? Why did you half kill them by piercing their bodies with arrows? Byada kohe shunagosai mrigari moranam pitara shikate ame kori aichekam. The hunter replied, my dear saintly person, my name is Mrigari, the enemy of animals. My father taught me to kill them in that way. So his name is Mrigari, who is the enemy of animals. And as far as half killing the animals, he said, my father taught me this. Ardamara jiba jadi dad farakore tabita anandamora baraye antare. When I see half-killed animals suffer, I feel great pleasure. This may seem to us very strong, but nowadays we hear about so many persons, even young persons, they enjoy hurting other people, especially prevalent in, well, many places, not just the cities, but I'm reading about that happening in London too, and other cities all over the so-called civilized world. People they actually assign points for how they hurt other people. And they're in competition with each other. Narada kohe ekbastu mage tomarstane byara kohe mrigade loha jay tomaramane. Narad Muni then told the hunter, I have one thing to beg of you. The hunter replied, you may take whatever animal or anything else you would like. So, Mriga chala chaha jari aisha moragare jay chaha tahadiba mriga vyagram bare. I have many skins. If you would like them, I shall give you either a deer skin or a tiger skin. Now it seems, but we also hear that when Brahmananda Bharati When he went to see Mahaprabhu, he was wearing a deer skin. And he was chastised by Mahaprabhu. And he was wearing it out of prestige, because, a yogi or a saint could wear a deer skin or a tiger skin would be very prestigious. Narada kohe ihami kichu nahi chahi ara ek dana ami magi tomatai. Narad Muni said, I do not want any of the skins. I'm asking only one thing from you in charity. Kali hoite tumiche mrigadi mariba pratame mariba arda mara nakoriba. I beg you that from this day on you will kill animals completely and not leave them half dead. Byadako he kiba dana magila amare ardamarile kiba hoy taha kohamore. The hunter replied, my dear sir, what are you asking of me? What is wrong with the animals lying there half killed? Will you please explain this to me? He doesn't see anything wrong with half killing animals. Why they're going to die anyway? Why should this be a point of contention? Narada kohe arda marile jiva payam yatta jive duka nitecha tomara hoive aiche avasta. Narad Muni replied, if you leave the animals half dead, you are purposely giving them pain. Therefore, you will have to suffer in retaliation. So, aiche avasta, you'll have to get whatever pain you inflict on them, you'll have to receive that. Purport, this is an authoritative statement given by the greatest authority, Narad Muni. If one gives another living entity unnecessary pain, one will certainly be punished by the laws of nature with a similar pain. Although the hunter Mrigari was uncivilized, he still had to suffer the results of his sinful activities. However, if a civilized man kills animals regularly in a slaughterhouse to maintain his so-called civilization using scientific methods and machines to kill animals, one cannot even estimate the suffering awaiting him. So this point also came up recently. It's still going on in Navadip, of all places, where they wanted to open a slaughterhouse. So-called civilized people consider themselves very advanced in education, but they do not know about the stringent laws of nature. According to nature's law, it is a life for a life. We can hardly imagine the sufferings of one who maintains a slaughterhouse. He endures suffering not only in this life, but in his next life also. Okay, then it says, it is said that a hunter, murderer, or a killer is advised not to live and not to die. If he lives, he accumulates even more sins, which bring about more suffering in a future life. He is advised not to die because his dying means that he immediately begins to endure more suffering. Then he'll get his karma when he dies. Therefore, he is advised not to live and not to die. Okay. Byadatumi jiva mor aparan tomar kadartana diyamara epap apara. Narad Muni continued, my dear hunter, your business is killing animals. This is a slight offense on your part. But when you consciously give them unnecessary pain by leaving them half dead, you incur very great sins. Karartiya tumi jata marila jibare tarataiche toma maribe janmantare. Narad Muni continued, all the animals that you have killed and given unnecessary pain will kill you one after the other in your next life and in life after life. So you're going to be punished by all these animals that you have killed, given pain. Then you will be killed by them in future lives, one after another. Not just one life, all happening in one life. You'll get many future lives where they'll all get a chance to kill you. Narada Sange Vyadara Mana Parasana Hoila Tarabakya Shunimane Bhagya Upajila. In this way, through the association of the great sage Narada Muni, the hunter was a little convinced of his sinful activity. He therefore became somewhat afraid due to his offenses. So, we heard also, see, these are the words of a saintly devotee. They have immediate, strong impact. We heard about that one man in Navadip who, actually the man who first sponsored the Sri Navadip Dham Parikrama of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, that he was very sinful, and his wife and father-in-law were walking with him, and they went to visit Srila Sridhar Maharaj by his wife's, by their arrangements. And when he heard from Srila Sridhar Maharaj, who preached to him for some time, then on that occasion, then that man began actually crying. He reflected that he had been very sinful and how he had wasted his human life, and then he actually changed. So, now obviously somebody like that, he's hearing from his in-laws, he's hearing from his wife, he's hearing from his friends, but that is not enough to make him change. But when he heard from Srila Sridhar Maharaj, that had some impact and his life changed. So this is the effect. We've heard that the word sadhu means to cut, one who can cut. You can cut away your unnecessary attachment to sinful activities. Vyarakohe bhaya hoite eya marakarma kimane tarimumui pamara adama. The hunter then admitted that he was convinced of his sinful activity, and he said, I have been taught this business from my very childhood. Now I am wondering how I can become freed from these unlimited volumes of sinful activity. So this is my profession. I've learned it from my childhood, but now I'm feeling some conflicting emotions because it's my livelihood, but I'm also accepting the words of my spiritual master, of Narada Muni, who would become his spiritual master. I'm accepting his words. So how can I become free from these sinful activities? I mean, this is natural to think like that. He's feeling conflicted between his profession and what he now feels is future suffering as a result of his sinful activities. E pap jaya mora kemona upaye nishtara koraha more param tomara paye. The hunter continued, my dear sir, please tell me how I can be relieved from the reactions of my sinful life. Now I fully surrender unto you and fall down at your lotus feet. Please deliver me from sinful reactions. So here again, this is the emphasis. I want to be relieved from sinful reactions. It's not necessarily the same as saying, I don't want to commit any more sins. I'm afraid of sinning. No, the immediate fear is, these reactions are going to befall me. So how can I be freed from the reactions? Not the sins, but the reactions. Okay. Narada kohe jadi adara amara bachan tabe se korite pari tomara mochan. Narada Muni assured the hunter, if you listen to my instructions, I shall find the way you can be liberated. Mochan. If you listen to me, you can become liberated. Okay. Vyata kohe je kaha seta koriba narada kohe danuga banga tabesa se kohiba. So, but now the hunter will hear that liberation means being liberated from the reactions and liberated from the tendency to commit sin also. So, Vyata kohe je koha seta koriba narada kohe danuka banga tabise kohiba. The hunter then said, "My dear sir, whatever you say I shall do." Narada immediately ordered him, "First of all, break your bow, then I shall tell you what is to be done." Vyarako he danuka bhangile martiva kemane nardako he amiyana diva pratidine. The hunter replied, "If I break my bow, how shall I maintain myself?" Narad Muni replied, "Do not worry, I shall supply all your food every day." Danuka bhangi byara tara chanane parila tari uttaya narada upadesha koila. Being thus assured by the great sage Narad Muni, the hunter broke his bow, immediately fell down at the saint's lotus feet and fully surrendered. After this, Narad Muni raised him with his hand and gave him instructions for spiritual advancement. So, I have some I mean, these words have very strong implication, because I'm seeing a lot of persons when they come in contact with their spiritual master or with devotees who represent a spiritual master, who, when they're listening to them, they have to make a decision at one time or another. They have to make a decision that they will not continue with their mundane activities, but will take to devotional service completely, which has a lot of implications. But the main thing that I'm seeing is that persons who come from the materialistic background to associating with the devotee, they have to make a conscious decision that, yes, I will, like in the case of the hunter, he has to break his bow, has to make a conscious decision. I'm seeing that sometimes when persons, let's say, are born into the families of devotees, sometimes in their mind they don't have to make a conscious decision. I mean, they're vegetarian from birth, they're in association with devotees and everything. But sometimes they don't have to necessarily reject, what I'm saying, they don't have to reject their former activities, because in many ways they don't have former activities, not that are grossly materialistic. But as a result, I'm just thinking that sometimes not having to make that decision can lead to, not in all cases, but can lead to a lack of commitment. Lack of commitment, because one has not had to make a decision between mundane life and spiritual life. And mundane life seems to be, many times they don't necessarily know what is mundane life, but they still don't have to make a decision between the rejection of so-called worldly values. And now I'm not saying how, in my own mind, I don't necessarily know always how to evaluate this, but I'm thinking that somehow or other one has to make a conscious decision. I mean, maybe this is not important to everyone, but this is something that I've been thinking about for a long time, because why am I interested in that point? Because I want to be able to establish that Krishna consciousness is not just somebody's religion. It's not just a religious observation that's done on Sundays or Saturdays or whatever day it is that is observed. That it's not just a religious process, because many people, they were formally involved in some religion, and then they would have their weekly meetings and everything. When I first came into the association with the devotees, I didn't know what Krishna consciousness entailed. I was told that we want to open a center here, and I was thinking in my mind, oh, opening a center, oh, you want to have your meetings maybe once Monday and Wednesday, or Wednesday and Friday. I was thinking, oh, you want to have a couple days to have meetings. Okay, you can use my house. But I didn't know. That wasn't really my house. I was staying somewhere. But I didn't know that that meant that the devotees would take over the whole house and everything. You know, I thought it was just going to be to have some evening meetings there. Oh yeah, you can meet here twice a week. But then they moved in, and then they told me I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and many other things. So I was surprised, but I invited them in. So just like Govinda Maharaj, she said, when he first met the devotees, he became affected by them, and he said he would go to the ashram. But then he was thinking, well, wait a minute, if I go to the ashram, my present life will be finished. So then he tried to, that was recently, that was around the time of the Shringa Chaturdasi. So then he later tried to make some adjustment whereby he wouldn't necessarily have to make that commitment. He said, well, I'll go, but only if we leave today. And they said, yes, we'll leave today. Pack your bags, we're ready to go. So he was surprised that they were so readily agreed to go immediately to the ashram. He was thinking they would say, oh, our business is not finished. We can't go. But they were ready to go anyway. It was apparently the day before the Shringa Chaturdasi, and they were all going anyway. So he said, I'll only go today, and that was good for them because, oh yeah, you're ready, let's go. So I didn't think when I first met the devotees that there was some kind of special commitment required. I thought, oh, you just want a place to have meetings, okay. But it was more than that. So, Danuka Bhange Bhyara Dhara Charane Parila Tari Uthaya Narada Upadesha Koila. Being thus assured by the great sage Narada Muni, the hunter broke his bow, immediately fell down at the saint's lotus feet and fully surrendered. After this, Narada Muni raised him with his hand and gave him instructions for spiritual advancement. Daragiya Brahmane Deho Chata Achedana Ek Bastrapari Mahirahao Duijana. Narada Muni then advised the hunter, return home and distribute whatever riches you have to the pure Brahmins who know the absolute truth. After you have distributed all your riches to the Brahmanas, you and your wife should leave home, each of you taking only one cloth to wear. So reduce your material possessions. We saw that when the prostitute had been converted by Haridas Thakur, she also distributed whatever possessions she had. I mean, she was affluent by having been somewhat affluent by being a prostitute, so she had some possessions. She was advised to distribute that, and she did. Okay. Nadi, so you're going now,
yeah,
right?
I should go now.
Okay.
I'll see you later.
It's very good to see you again.
Yeah, really nice to see you too. It was a wonderful class. I'm sorry I had to miss the end.
Okay. Well, you know something of the ending.
No, but your commentary is individual. Follow it online. I can watch on YouTube.
Nadi tiri ek khani kutira korea tara age ek pindi tulasi ropia. Narada Muni continued, leave your home and go to the forest, go to the river. There you should construct a small cottage, and in front of the cottage you should grow a tulsi plant on a raised platform. So this hunter, he's not by himself, he has his wife also and everything. So he's told to go live by the river, build a small cottage or something, and worship Tulsi. Tulasi parikramakora Tulasi Sevana Nirantara Krishna Nama Kori Kirtana. After planting the Tulsi tree before your house, you should daily circumambulate that tulsi plant, serve her by giving her water and other things, and continuously chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Ami tomai bahu ana patai mu dine se ana labe jata kal duijane. Narada Muni continued, every day I shall send sufficient food to you both. You can take as much food as you want. Tabe se mrigari tine narada shushta koila shushta hoya mrigari tine nana palaila. The three animals that were half killed were then brought to their consciousness by the sage Narada. Indeed, the animals got up and swiftly fled. Before they had broken legs and everything, but they were restored by Narada and they just ran away. Dekiya byadera mane hoila chamatkar. Garikela Byara Garuke Kore Namaskar. When the hunter saw the half-killed animals flee, he was certainly struck with wonder. He then offered his respectful obeisances to the sage Narada and returned home. Jatastani Narada Gela Byara Garidi Aila Naradera Upadeshi Sakala Korila. After all this, Narada Muni went to his destination. After the hunter returned home, he exactly followed the instructions of his spiritual master, Narada. Naradera Upadeshe Korila. He executed all the instructions that Narada gave him. Purport: for spiritual advancement, one must have a bona fide spiritual master and follow his instructions in order to be assured of advancement. Ramedwane hoila byara Vaishnava hoila gramera lok sab ana anite lagila. The news that the hunter had become a Vaishnava spread all over the village. Indeed, all the villagers brought alms means food, and presented them to the Vaishnava who had formerly been a hunter. Ek din ana ane dash bishane dine tataloy jata akaya duijane. And one day enough food was brought for 10 or 20 people, but the hunter and his wife would accept only as much as they could eat. They didn't take it. They were being offered more than they could use, so they only took what they needed. Ek din narada ko heshuna Parvate Amara Ek Sisha Ch.Ch Chalahadekite. One day, while speaking to his friend Parvat Muni, Narada Muni requested him to go with him to see his disciple, the hunter. Tabidui Rishi Aila Sebyarastane Durahoite Byara Paila Gurur Darshane. As the saintly sages approached the hunter's place, the hunter could see them from a distance. Now this is really nice, where it's Aste Byaste Dana Ashe Patanahipai Patera Pipilika Iti Utidaripai Pipilika. It's ants. With great alacrity, the hunter began to run towards his spiritual master, but he could not fall down and offer obeisances because ants were running hither and thither around his feet. Very nice. Ants were running hither and thither around his feet. We don't hear that so much
these days. No. I'm a bit old-fashioned. I do use that phrase.
What?
I'm a bit old-fashioned. I do use that phrase from time to time.
Hither and thither. That's very nice. With great alacrity, the hunter. There is alacrity too. That's very nice. With a great alacrity, the hunter began to run towards his spiritual master, but he could not fall down and offer obeisances because ants were running hither and thither around his feet. Dandavat stani pipi likare dekiya mastre stana jadipare dandavat hoya. Seeing the ants, the hunter whisked them away with a piece of cloth. After thus clearing the ants from the ground, he fell down flat to offer his obeisances. The word danda means rod, and vat means light. To offer obeisances, spiritual master, one must fall flat, exactly as a rod falls on the ground. This is the meaning of the word dandavat. Narada kohe byara ena hoy ascharya hari bhakti himsa shuna hoy sarubarya. Narada Muni said, "My dear hunter, such behavior is not at all astonishing. A person in devotional service is automatically non-violent. He is the best of gentlemen. Etena hi adbhuta vyara tavahim sadayaguna hare bhakto pravritta jay nateshu paratapina." O hunter, good qualities like non-violence, which you have developed, are not very astonishing, for those engaged in the Lord's devotional service are never inclined to give pain to others because of envy. Tabe se byara dohare angane anila kushanana ani dohare bhakti basaila. The hunter then received the two great sages in the courtyard of his house. He spread out a straw mat for them to sit upon, and with great devotion he begged them to sit down. Jala ane bhakti dohara para prakalila sejala stri purushe piya shire hoila. He then fetched water and washed the sage's feet with great devotion. Then both husband and wife drank that water and sprinkled it on their heads. Kampa Pulakashru Hoila Krishna Namagan. Oh, Kampa Pulakashru Hoila Krishna Namagana Urdwabahu Nrityakori Bastra Udaya. When the hunter chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra before his spiritual master, his body trembled and tears welled up in his eyes. Filled with ecstatic love, he raised his hands and began to dance, waving his garments up and down. He's dancing. He's very Dekiya Byadera Prema Parvat Mahamuni Naradere Kohe Tumi House Parshamani. When Parvat Muni saw the ecstatic loving symptoms of the hunter, he told Narada, "Certainly you are a touchstone." Aho danyasi devarshe kripaya yasya tatchanat nichopi utpulako lebe lubdako ratim achute. Parvat Muni continued, "My dear friend, Narada Muni, you are glorified as the sage among the demigods. By your mercy, even a low-born person like this hunter can immediately become attached to Lord Krishna. Narada kohe Vaishnava tomara anakichu I byara kohe jare patao se diya jai." Narada Muni then asked the hunter, "My dear Vaishnava, do you have some income for your maintenance?" The hunter replied, "My dear spiritual master, whoever you send gives me something when he comes to see me. Eta anana patao kichukaryanai sabidui janar jogya bhakya matrachai." The former hunter said, "Please do not send so much grain. Only send what is sufficient for 2 people, no more." He said, "As a matter of fact, they're bringing too much. So I wish that they would bring less. We can't use or consume what everyone's offering." Narada kohe achiraha tumi bhagavan etabole duijana oila antardan. Narada Muni approved as not wanting more than a daily supply of food, and he blessed him, saying, "You are fortunate." Narada Muni and Parvat Muni then disappeared from that place. Eta kohilun tomai byarera akyan jashunile hoy sadhu sangha prabhavagyan. Thus I have narrated the incident of the hunter. By hearing this narration, one can understand the influence of association with devotees. So I'm going to stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue from this place. It's always very nice to hear this Magari the hunter, how he was converted. It was one of the examples being given in the explanation of the Atmarama verse, your Granta. a poor person or a hunter, now that person can be also become an Atmarama, attracted to the service of Krishna. Of course, there's an expanded meaning of one who takes pleasure in the bodily conception of life, which can include basically everyone. But, well, it's actually being applied more to the meaning of the word nirgrunt, in this case, meaning a hunter. So, now we'll sing Hari Harai.
We singing.
Huh?
Singing, Maharaj.
Accompanying musician, Chaitanya.
All right. Hari Harai Nama Krishna Jarabaya Nama Jarabaya Manabaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Manana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Janardan Shiva Sari Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Radhuna Sri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Rasa Radhuna Jai Gosai Gori Charana Banda Jao Inte Vignana Shamsta Pura Jai Gosai Jai Goi Charana Kansamar Padarenu Mora Panchagas Pader Janana Sevi Patusane Bas Jai Saparikara Sri Sri Guru Guranga Radhagiri Dariju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmawacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakakshidhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Premasi Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta Ki Jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat Ki Jai. Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Vishwavaranya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. London Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Shyam Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Shripad Bhakti Hridoy Mahayogi Maharaj Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande.
Srila Bhakti Janardan Maharaj Ki Jai.